Are you looking forward to getting back into league action with Wexford this week?
Yeah, sure. The long slog there of the winter training is broken up by the league, and it's nice to get back into the mix of the games and stuff as well. So it's been a while now since we've been out, so it'd be great. Yeah.
And with the Walsh Cup there, you're continuing a good record against Kilkenny in recent times. That's important.
Yeah, well, sure. Look, at nothing's really won now at this end of the year, but sure, if you'd rather win games than lose them, so it's obviously important to try to get a winning streak before you go into games like that. Like I say, you'd rather get into a winning streak rather than come off the back of a couple of defeats. So yeah.
Has running the Dublin Marathon helped with the January slog?
Jesus, I start questioning everything in the January slog. So I don't know. My lack of training probably helped my training a little bit better. So I probably didn't do enough training for the marathon to run it in an outstanding time or anything like that. But look at you're doing your bit and trying to get back in the best possible shape now. I think every county team at this stage are, it's not like years gone by where lads are coming back and they're coming back to get fit. They're just now a lot of teams are coming back to get even fitter and get the extra little gains.
You're working as a PT as well, yeah. So you can be fairly busy the whole time, I'd say. Right.
Yeah, well, sure. Look, this time of year is a bit nuts anyway. Everyone seems to go a bit crazy trying to get fit and trying to get their New Year's resolutions and stuff. So it's a bit mad at the moment, but sure, look, it's a good sign, I suppose.
I know the Walsh Cup is obviously not the limit of your ambitions, but is it important too you are Leinster champions, to keep setting that standard against your provincial rivals? Did it feel satisfying, especially the way you wanted to?
Well, sure. Look, for long periods of that game, we probably were in the back seat, like we were in trouble, all right. But look, I think standards is probably something we just set for ourselves rather than for opponents, really. And look, we're in the middle of a process now over the last number of years where our standards are a little bit higher than what they had been, and if we don't meet them, we know we're going to be beaten. So it's more kind of as a collective, as a group, that we try to set the standards rather than set the standards for our opponent, we'll say.
A lot of managers, and especially S&C coaches, are part of that management group, say that when it comes to S&C especially, it's year 3 that you really start seeing the benefits of what their sort of medium to long term strategy is. Are you feeling that yourselves at the moment?
Yeah, I suppose so. Like I said, I think when you get a bit of success like we did last year, I think everyone wants to come back in even better nick, and I think the onus was on that this year. We've a new S&C coach as well, so I don't know whether his 3-year plan now is is what he's thinking, but he's been brilliant. Graham Byrne, he's been really, really good. He's brought a fresh kind of side to it as well, and he's added on to what Darren Siggins, who done great work with us over the last 3 years. To answer your question, yeah, so he's doing some great work, and like I say, he's in constant contact with Darren as well, which is brilliant.
Is there a certain confidence in the panel, as reigning Leinster champions, what that gave for you? Is it hard to put a percentage on it, but is it definitely a real thing?
It's hard to kind of even put your finger on like where the confidence has come from, or I think the confidence is probably the work that we're putting in, but at the same time we know that every other team is putting that in as well, and between the the Allianz leagues and the championship, like if you're off even a couple of percent on a day, you're going to be beaten. And we were probably a point away from being knocked out of the championship last year, and we ended up winning the Leinster final. So it's all small margins now at this stage, and if you don't get them right, you're going to be beaten.
When you reflect on last year, obviously you made the Leinster breakthrough, but does it feel like one that got away when you look back at the tip game?
Well, the only thing I was happy was they were the eventual winners now, to be honest. But look, we had a great year, and I suppose on any other year, if we'd have been beaten by 7 or 8 points in an All-Ireland semi-final, people would have still thought it was a great year. I think the onus probably now to the general public is that it may be one that got away, but look, maybe I find Tipperary like really put on a show there in the last number of minutes there. I think they got 5 points in a row, no wide, man down. They kind of showed the champion spirit that they eventually got to and eventually won. So I don't know. I haven't thought about it an awful lot, to be honest. I've tried to.
Would you watch it back or anything, or would you be the kind of leave matches be?
No, when you lose ones like that, the last thing you want to do is watch them back. Yeah, I haven't looked back on it a whole lot. But it's just kind of moving on now. Turning a new year quick.
When you say you were glad to see them win, is that because you kind of realise that you're close to the champions, and does that kind of make it easier looking for a new season? Is it probably?
Well, to be honest, personally, if I was going to ever be beaten, I'd like to know that the team that whether it's club or county or whatever, maybe you're beaten by the eventual winners. It was the same with the club when we won the county final for the first time. Ballyhale beat us, and I think we were the only team. We were the closest team to Ballyhale. Albeit it was 16 points, I think, but still, But yeah, look, that's just a personal thing for me. I'd rather be beaten by the eventual winners if I was ever going to be beaten.
How do you kind of push on now again? I mean, like you talk about the kind of fine margins. I suppose when you see what happened to Galway last year in the round robin, is that there's not automatic you're going to take the next step from the semi-final? Is that the kind of in frame of thinking?
I think if we have to try to get out of Leinster first, to be honest, there's no easy feat in that. Like I said, we were a point away from getting beaten by Kilkenny down at Wexford Park. We would have been out of the championship, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here thinking, how do we progress? Or the question will be a little bit different on what's progression now for Wexford. So look at it, we just have to take each game as it comes. The league's coming up now. We've a few new players in as well, different clubs and stuff. So. They're going to probably get their chance and try to strengthen everything up again, and the competition for places is probably at an all-time high now since I've been in the panel anyway, so which is obviously healthy as well.
New format in the Allianz League now, and we've always seen teams from 1B always being so highly competitive, so do you think this new format is going to even increase that even more?
Yeah, I think you're just playing top class games all the time. We certainly have less distance to travel anyway. I think we had to go Salt Hill there a couple of times, and it's a bit crazy, alright. But yeah, look at I think even for the likes of Laois and Westmeath to get in, we have Laois on Saturday now, and like that game alone is in regards to the two teams we played them. I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe Davy's first year I think it was, and we had to get 1 point at the end of the game. So like, we know what's coming as well, and we know that every game we're going to get a good challenge. So yeah, for progression as a whole, I think it would be brilliant. Yeah.
The way the groups have worked out, it's almost a de facto Leinster Championship in that you're in with Dublin, Kilkenny and Laois, who you'll be playing in the summer. Is there an element that is going to be shadow boxing here, and you're just trying to figure each other out almost?
Look, I think at this time of year, there's going to be so many factors that are going to be different. Come championship, and look at every game you go out to win. Well, I do anyway. I've yet to meet a manager or meet a group of players that go out and kind of be happy enough or satisfied enough to just go out and shadow box for 70 minutes. I don't think it's really in the GA kind of atmosphere to do that. Soccer you might see it or something like that, but they'll be playing for draws and stuff. But I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think if we go up to O'More Park this weekend and go up with the attitude of saying we're going to shadow box, we won't be long about being blown out of the water. I'd say.
Would JT Leinster go to 16? There's going to be a bit of talk about that. Obviously, you're playing Laois, the progress day mates. Like, do you think it'd be a fairer system for the kind of counties, maybe the level, maybe below the top couple in the province?
Look at I think. For the likes of Laois or Westmeath, like we were down in 1B for long enough as well, and I think if the system was to change, which had changed when we were down in 1B, we would have been happy with that. We would have been delighted to play against the lads who were in 1A. So it can only bring on teams, and it can only bring on every team in the group, to be honest. And they're obviously there for a reason, and the competition had changed for a reason. They realised that there were so many winners probably coming from 1B. That it wasn't working out the other way.
Brendan Bugler's come in this year. What's he added?
A different approach than I thought he would anyway. He's come in as a forwards coach and a general analyst. He's come in, he has a different aspect on everything. He kind of looks, I'd say probably because he's not long out of the game, he understands the modern game an awful lot, pitch level, and he sees things, you know, that other coaches might not see, which is obviously brilliant. And he's very hands-on as well. Drills are top class, and he's very kind of game orientated in his stuff that he does in training. So he's very good.
Is he a good cop or a bad cop?
He's yet to be bad cop to me, but I'd say now I'm not gonna try cross him or wait around for him to be bad cop. So no, he's very level headed, and he's you know he'd throw the arm around the shoulder there and tell you if you're doing something right or wrong. But he, you know, I'm sure if he needed to get his point across some way, he would as well.
Because you came up against him, I'd say, a few times. You knocked him out of the championship in 2014 when they were All-Ireland champions as well. Has there been any ribbon over that sort of stuff?
Well, the first day he came in, I think Liam McGovern was the fella in the incident with him, and he hadn't met him since then. So there was a bit of a, you know, a woo, you know, when he was gone in. But
the red card incident?
Yeah, exactly. But sure, look, it was short lived. And like I say, Bugler, he's a gentleman. So, you know, he's adding to the setup, and looking forward to now what he brings kind of throughout the year as well. Yeah.
Is that one of Davy's strengths, kind of, you know, freshening it up and kind of bringing in maybe someone completely different that you probably wouldn't have thought of if you were thinking of prospective new coaches?
Yeah, well, it's something he definitely wouldn't question. Davy wouldn't bring him in unless he had something to add, or, you know, I wouldn't say he just brings people in just to get a fresh. You know, he's bringing them in to do a job. And look at it, if, like we all know, Davy at this stage, even as players, he expects everyone to do their job, and it's no different in the backroom team. He would, like I said, he wouldn't bring him in just to be sitting there or carrying water bottles or whatever it may be. He's bringing him in to do his job, and it seems to be working out at the moment. Yeah.
I think you were joint fourth highest scorer in the championship last year. Have you worked very hard in your game to become a more complete forward, and how much more do you think you still have to go in that regard?
Yeah, I suppose, like, you're trying to improve yourself all the time. Probably trying to improve yourself in stuff that you might have been weaker at than other players, especially in the system that we play. I think you know, sometimes for forwards, and in particular inside forwards, you need to be able to develop a mindset that is best for the team, and that's probably something that I've worked on mostly to try to do what's absolutely best for the team. And if scores come on the head of it, then you know that works out. But yeah, I didn't actually know that, but yeah, it's obviously nice to get a few scores, get a couple of goals and stuff like that. But yeah, you're always trying to work on everything and try, like I said, work on your weaknesses more so than anything. I know it sounds like a cliche, but you're not going to get better unless you do. You can, if you're good at one thing, you just keep doing that. You know, you're going to turn into a one-trick pony, and that'll be the end of it then, fairly sharp, I'd say.
Especially, as you mentioned, because of that system, you have to be an all-rounder really, because you're going to be in various sectors of the field at different times, creating that space for others to run into and exploit. You can't just be a target man anymore in this Wexford team. Yeah,
well, like at times that might help to, you know, if you know, to be the target man. It depends on the team that you're playing, but like you said, you're not going to be. You want to play first of all, and you want to, you know, make the right impression, you know, and do your job all the time. So if you're trying to create that little niche as a forward, as being a target man or something like that, it's not always going to work in that system. So it was either, you know, love it or leave it now kind of thing, and jump ship if you're not going to, you know, develop yourself in other aspects of your game.
Would you have had any hard conversations with Davy about that, having to develop your game in a certain direction?
No, it's not always, it wouldn't always be hard. Davy would be very good in regards to, in the coaching aspect of things. He'd be very honest as well, which, you know, for some people might seem hard. But like I said, he's only trying to improve everyone and get the max out of everybody. And I think, you know, the proof is in the pudding there for the last number of years. There's kind of players who wouldn't have been, you know, getting the most out of their game, and they certainly are now at the moment.
Thanks for watching Our Game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.